Tired of digital chaos killing your productivity and mental peace on your Mac? You're at the right place, my busy solopreneur friend. In this episode, you will discover my philosophy and a powerful structure to finally tame digital chaos on your Mac. Built-in Mac features to tidy up your desktop and downloads folder in a pinch, and powerful automation to put file management on autopilot.
Welcome everyone. Ever feel like your Mac's desktop is slowly but surely devouring your productivity? You know, those endless files, the jumbled downloads, that just vague sense of digital chaos. Today we're diving deep into the practical art of digital decluttering on your Mac. We've explored Damien's powerful strategies from his insights across episodes 64 through 67 of his show, and we've distilled them into the most actionable steps to help you finally tame your digital space. Think of this as your personalized guide to transforming that digital overwhelm into focused, creative productivity.
Exactly. Our mission for you today is to walk away with clear, executable steps, not just concepts. We'll explore powerful mindsets, leverage Mac's built-in features, and then step into the incredible world of advanced automation tools. By the end of this deep dive, you'll have a roadmap to keep your Mac neat and tidy, freeing up significant mental bandwidth for what truly matters to you.
Okay, so if our goal is truly clutter-free productivity, where do we begin? I guess the first and arguably most crucial step is to reframe how we think about the very nature of digital clutter itself. It's not just about losing files, right? It's about that constant low-level mental drain. Like, think of a messy basement. Even when you're not in it, the thought of it kind of nags at you. Digital clutter does the same thing, subtly hindering your focus and creativity.
Yeah, what's fascinating here is how universal this problem is and how Damien connects it back to this timeless wisdom he learned from his granddad. His motto was, "A place for everything and everything in its place." The profound insight here isn't just about having a tidy physical space, it's about proactively building a destination architecture for your files. Most digital chaos stems not from a lack of desire to organize, but from the absence of a clear, immediate home for new files. By creating that home up front, you remove the friction that leads to those digital piles.
That timeless wisdom sounds simple, but how does Damien translate that into a practical digital strategy for his Mac? Like, what's the biggest mental hurdle most people face in applying that philosophy to their digital lives?
Well, the biggest hurdle is usually the initial inertia, feeling overwhelmed by where to even start. Damien tackles this head-on with a remarkably simple, yet universally effective default folder structure. He applies it everywhere, not just on his Mac's local drive, but also in Google Drive, Notes, Photos, where he's created a dedicated professional folder and iCloud Drive. It's a structure that adapts perfectly for, any solopreneur or small business.
So what does this essential structure actually look like?
It consists of just 4 top-level folders. First, 01 admin. This is for foundational paperwork, legal docs, registration, that kind of thing. Then 02 business dev. Here you'd put anything related to marketing, pricing strategies, product development. 03 finances. Pretty straightforward for invoices, expenses, anything money related. And finally, 04 operations. This is where the core work happens, especially client projects.
Okay, so that structure isn't just a practical template. It's like a universal mental framework. It teaches you to categorize any digital asset, regardless of its type or location. That fundamentally shifts your approach from reactive tidying to proactive placement. But this raises a good question. How deep should these folders go? Are we talking about endless nested subfolders? Because that can get confusing too.
Right, no, not at all. Damien uses a mixed approach. He really embraces shallow structures until deeper nesting is truly necessary. So, for example, under 04 operations, he might have B2B and B2C folders with individual client subfolders beneath those. The goal is clarity, not complexity. Keep it simple until you need more detail.
We also learned about using tags versus folders, which for me was a real aha moment back in episode 64. While folders only allow a file to reside in one location, macOS tags, much like Gmail labels, let a file appear in multiple contexts simultaneously. For instance, an invoice in a client's operations folder could also be tagged finance, making it discoverable through a finance-related search, regardless of its physical location. This is incredibly powerful for discoverability, but for someone just starting, wouldn't managing tags feel like more work initially than just sticking to folders? What's the learning curve there?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's where the mindset shift really comes in. Initially, yes, it's an extra step, no doubt. But once you embrace the idea that tags aren't just labels, but a way to build sort of a personal knowledge graph, the long-term benefit of unparalleled search power far outweighs the initial effort. The key is consistency, and often you just start with a few core tags and build from there. The beauty is that files can now exist in multiple virtual locations without duplication. It's pretty neat.
Okay, that makes sense. And to help you implement this foundational structure and get started, Damien has created a shortcuts automation. It instantly creates this 4-folder setup anywhere on your Mac. It's a brilliant way to kickstart your organization. You can find the link and instructions over at macpreneur.com/episode 64.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, file clutter is actually inevitable. Damien, drawing on his physics background, points to the second law of thermodynamics. Systems naturally tend towards disorder. Entropy, right. Our digital lives are no exception. This means we can't eliminate it entirely, but we can prevent it and reduce it, just like dealing with dirty dishes. You don't stop using dishes, but you develop systems to clean them efficiently.
Right. Okay. So with that foundational mindset in place, let's turn our attention to the immediate battlegrounds where clutter often begins, your Mac's desktop and downloads folder. For your desktop, a quick win for prevention is using Stacks. It's built right into macOS. A simple right-click on your desktop, choose Use Stacks, and boom, files of the same type magically group together. Your desktop looks tidy without you having to move a thing.
And beyond just looking tidy, it helps reduce the visual noise, which in turn reduces that mental drain you talked about earlier. Less distraction. Another huge source of desktop clutter. Screenshots, we all do it.
Ah, yes. My desktop used to be like a graveyard of screenshots. What's the simple fix there?
Well, instead of letting them pile up, you just adjust your Mac screenshot options. Tell it to send them directly to a dedicated folder. You can even set them to save directly to cloud storage, like iCloud Drive for cross-device access. This simple tweak immediately cleans up your workspace, and it's a setting you can change in your Mac's screenshot utility. Shift-Command-5, then Options.
Nice. And for existing files that just, accumulate on the desktop.
For reducing that existing clutter, a really powerful manual technique is to select a group of related files, right-click, and choose Create Folder with Selection. Or, even faster, use the keyboard shortcut Control-Command-N, name the new folder, and instantly, that messy pile becomes a neat stack.
Okay, easy enough. Now, let's turn our attention to the Downloads folder, another notorious digital dumping ground. What's the prevention strategy here?
Right. For your Downloads folder, a key prevention strategy Damien recommends is to set your web browser to always ask where to save a file. This forces a conscious decision every single time. It ensures you make a choice instead of just letting files land haphazardly. It's a setting you'll find easily within your browser's preferences, usually under Downloads or General.
I can see how powerful that is for prevention. But let's be honest, for someone downloading dozens of files a day, wouldn't that constant prompt introduce a lot of friction? Like slow you down? How does Damien reconcile that efficiency hit?
That's a totally valid concern. It does introduce a slight upfront friction, no question, but most browsers remember your last save location, which helps. And using Finder's sidebar shortcuts really minimizes that friction too. The added benefit, though, which is often overlooked, is the opportunity to rename the file before it even lands. This also lets you remove problematic characters that can cause sync issues with services like OneDrive or Windows. It's a tiny step that can save huge headaches later on.
Okay, fair point. So even with those prevention measures, you'll still have files accumulating in downloads. How do we tackle that manually?
Well, you can group them quickly right in Finder by kind, application, date, size, or even tags. To quickly trash files, just select them and use Command Backspace. Sends them right to the trash. For moving a bunch, open 2 Finder windows, just hit Command N for the second window and then drag and drop between them. Or, and this is a great little trick Damien shared in episode 65, use his custom quick action. It's a handy personal automation you can trigger right from Finder to move selected files to a destination of your choice.
Well, cool. And to put this into practice, Damien has made that shortcuts quick action available, right? To move selected files from your downloads folder. You can find it in instructions at macpreneur.com/episode 65. Okay, but manual cleaning only gets you so far. It still takes time and effort. This is where automation steps in, like finally hiring that highly efficient and completely silent digital assistant you always dreamed of. One who happily cleans up your downloads folder without judgment. It requires some upfront training, sure, but the long-term benefits are immense, freeing you from constant repetitive file management.
Exactly. For Mac users, the built-in option is Automator. It's a drag-and-drop application that has shipped with Mac OS since, 2005, found right there in your Applications folder. It can do much more than just file management, but its folder action feature is absolutely perfect for passive background decluttering.
So how does a folder action work its magic? What does it actually do?
A folder action automatically launches a series of actions whenever files are moved into a designated folder. You simply launch Automator, choose New Document, then select Folder Action, and then you pick the folder you want it to monitor. Downloads or desktop are prime candidates, obviously, but Damien actually recommends starting with a dedicated subfolder for experimentation just until you get the hang of it. Safer that way.
Right, test it out first. And what's the basic recipe for these automations? What are the building blocks?
The basic structure usually involves filter actions first, like filtering by file type, name, size, date, or even text content within the document, which is super useful for, say, invoices. And that's followed by a move action. You can also add a rename step in between those, if needed.
Okay, give us an example of a common use case for a solopreneur. Something practical.
Sure. A perfect example is managing purchase orders, like Damien mentioned in episode 66. You could set up a filter for PDFs with names starting easytech.app, for example. Then rename them by maybe prepending today's date. And finally, move them automatically to a specific client subfolder. Just remember to tick the Replacing Existing Files box if you want to prevent duplicates piling up.
Automator sounds incredibly versatile, especially for being built in and free. But for someone like Damien, who's clearly pushed the boundaries of automation, what were the specific pain points or the advanced scenarios where automators just couldn't keep up?
Yeah, that's a great question, because while Automator is a fantastic entry point, it does have limitations, especially for more complex needs. For one, it only triggers when files are moved from your Mac's internal drive, so not copies, and not files dropped from external drives or network shares. Testing can be a bit clunky sometimes, and maintaining complex actions isn't super intuitive. Its filtering logic is also quite basic. You can't easily do complex and/or statements. And crucially, it cannot easily extract and reuse data from inside documents, which really limits its smart capabilities. Plus, let's face it, Apple has stopped actively developing it, and it doesn't easily sync rules across multiple Macs, which is a pain if you use more than one.
Got it. It's a good starting point, but maybe not the ultimate solution for heavy users. Still, Automator is free and intuitive, making it a great place to start with simple automations. Give it a try. And if you create something cool, Damien would love to hear about it. You can send him a DM on social media at @MacPreneur_FM. You can learn more about it at macpreneur.com/episode 66.
Right. And given Automator's limitations, this is exactly where Hazel shines. This was covered in episode 67. Damien often jokes that before Hazel, manually sorting his purchase orders felt like a part-time job. Seriously. But now with Hazel running quietly in the background, it feels like magic. He's been using Hazel since, 2013 to put his file management on complete autopilot. It's a dedicated third-party app that runs continuously in the background, a true digital workhorse.
Okay, so if Hazel is the next level up, how does its interface and workflow differ from Automator? Is it easier to manage?
Yeah, Hazel's interface is much more centralized and clear. It makes more sense visually, I think. You have a column for watched folders on the left, a middle column for the rules applied to that selected folder, and a third column showing the triggers and actions for the specific rule you've clicked on. It allows you to easily add folders, group them logically, and even import and export rules, which is great for sharing or backup. And what's truly crucial for those with multiple Macs is that Hazel lets you synchronize rules across them using something like Dropbox or iCloud Drive. Just be mindful of iCloud's optimized Mac storage setting if you use that to ensure your rules are always available locally on each Mac.
Okay, that syncing sounds like a huge plus. And what makes Hazel rules so much more powerful than Automator's?
Well, Hazel rules are built on a simple yet incredibly powerful logic. If a series of triggers or conditions are met, then Hazel performs a set of actions. But the key difference is it offers vastly more options for both triggers and actions compared to Automator. This enables truly sophisticated, almost intelligent automations.
Right, this is where it gets really interesting. Let's dive into some of Damien's real-life examples from episode 67, See Hazel in Action. Show us the power.
Absolutely. One of Damien's favorite examples is his desktop cleanup rule. Simple but effective. Hazel automatically moves files from his desktop to his downloads folder if they are tagged with a green color label OR if it's after 11 p.m. clears it off nightly. It then removes the green label and adds a Hazel tag so he knows it was processed. It essentially does his nightly tidying for him.
That's brilliant. So no more waking up to a cluttered desktop from the day before. What about the infamous downloads folder?
For his downloads folder archiving, Damien has a rule that's quite clever. It automatically moves files that haven't been opened, created, or modified in 2 weeks, unless they're specifically red-labeled or tagged keep into an archive subfolder within downloads. This is like sweeping old files under a virtual rug. They're out of sight, keeping the main folder clean, but still readily accessible if needed. And crucially, they're still backed up by Time Machine, unlike files you just send straight to the trash.
Okay, that's smart. But this next one sounds like where Hazel's power truly comes through, especially for business users. Tell us about Damien's advanced purchase order processing.
Yeah, this is a perfect demonstration of Hazel's killer feature. Its ability to extract and reuse information from within files, even PDFs. For his purchase orders, Damien can set conditions that check not just the file name and type, but if the actual contents of the PDF contain a match for a specific date format. Then, Hazel automatically renames the file using that extracted date it found inside the PDF, and then it moves it to the correct client folder on his Synology, which is essentially like a powerful personal cloud storage device for his business. And unlike Automator, Hazel can even intelligently handle conflicting file names. It asks if you want to replace, rename, or keep both the existing and the new file. That level of intelligent automation is it's a total game changer for repetitive tasks.
Wow, reading inside the PDF to get a date and rename the file. That's impressive. Beyond just those examples, what are some of the other unique capabilities that set Hazel apart from Automator or just manual sorting?
Well, that ability to easily extract and reuse information from within files is paramount, definitely number one. But beyond that, its centralized management and rule synchronization are massive time savers if you manage lots of rules or Macs. It also offers a wider range of triggers and actions, including things like sorting files into subfolders based on custom patterns, like creating year-month folders automatically. And two features particularly valuable are App Sweep, which automatically looks for and removes leftover hidden files when you uninstall an app, reclaiming potentially gigabytes of space silently over time. And also its advanced trash management, allowing you to permanently remove files from the trash after a set time, or even cap your trash size automatically. It effectively makes file management a background process you barely need to think about anymore.
Okay, the power is undeniable. The downside, I imagine, is that with all that power, the learning curve might be a bit steep compared to Automator.
It can be, yeah. Hazel is incredibly powerful, so getting started does require a bit of time to understand its logic and explore all the options. It's not quite as simple as drag and drop initially, but the active Hazel forum online and excellent resources like David Sparks' Hazel Field Guide offer really robust support. It's an investment in time upfront that genuinely pays dividends for years, saving you so much manual effort down the line.
And what about the cost? Automator's free, Hazel isn't.
Right. In terms of pricing, a single license for Hazel is $42, and a family license for multiple household Macs is $65. But there's a 14-day free trial, so you can really test it out thoroughly. Damien firmly believes that the value far outweighs the cost. It saves him hours every single month. It pays for itself very quickly in reclaimed time.
Definitely sounds worth checking out.
Yeah.
So to put this into practice, download Hazel's 14-day free trial and start experimenting. See how much time you can reclaim by automating your file management. And if you have success stories, Damien would love to hear them. Send him a DM. You can find more details and the download link at macpreneur.com/episode 67. So we've really covered the journey here, from adopting that crucial place for everything mindset to leveraging powerful built-in Mac features like stacks and folder creation, and finally, embracing the true power of automation with tools like the built-in Automator and the incredibly robust Hazel.
Exactly. And ultimately, this deep dive wasn't just about cleaning your Mac, was it? It was about reclaiming your mental space and your precious time. By putting file management on autopilot, or at least semi-autopilot, you free yourself up to be more creative, more focused, and ultimately more productive in serving your clients and actually enjoying your free time instead of wrestling with files.
And this is just the beginning, really. Understanding how to create these simple, repeatable processes with tools like Shortcuts, Automator, or Hazel is the perfect stepping stone for integrating more advanced AI workflows into your business later on. So here's a final thought for you. What's one file management task, just one, that currently drains your energy that you're now inspired to automate after hearing this? Consider how even a small automation, like sorting downloads or cleaning the desktop, could lead to a massive cumulative time saving over a year. It really adds up. For personalized tips on taming all three killers of Mac productivity, be sure to take Damien's free quiz over at macpreneur.com/score.
I'm back! This episode ends this series of AI overviews and marks the beginning of the summer break for me. The next season, Season 7, will start in September and will mark the return to an interview format. I've called it the AI-enhanced Macpreneur. Yes, in addition to their favorite Mac apps, my guests will share how they use AI to boost their productivity. A bunch of episodes are already recorded and a few more are being scheduled. Now, if you'd like to share how you are leveraging AI from your Mac, I'd love to feature you as a guest too. So for that, just visit macpreneur.com/apply. If you are already on Podmatch, just click on the banner and visit the show profile. Otherwise, fill the application form and I will get back to you within a few days. Once again, visit macpreneur.com/apply. I can't wait featuring you in an upcoming episode of the Macpreneur podcast. In any case, make sure to subscribe or follow this podcast to be notified as soon as the first episode of Season 7 gets released. Plus, I might sprinkle a few bonus episodes before then, you never know. And until next time, I'm Damien, wishing you a great day.
Thank you for watching the Macpreneur podcast. If you've enjoyed the show, please leave a comment and share it with a friend right now.